That's another friend lost. Number 5 since Christmas. And I don't think we're finished. There's to yawn. And somebody's not happy about it. Somebody's got something to say about this, and that's why I've got the camera rolling. Well, I might have had a brain fart. So I thought I'd do this build section on time lapse because it's pretty much self-explanatory, and I could start from finish and you would have a whole day of time lapse. When I chose time lapse and you press time lapse within the video section, the button changes shape to look like it's recording. So I pressed time lapse, assumed it went straight into record, assumption being we've got no footage, none. Oh well, short video then. So I suppose I could do a quick explanation of what I've done here. That's a small building, Simon. No, it's not. It's the right size. So I made up that grid and levelled this in. I put that corner on there, screwed it to the wall. Then I made up this whole section, including the batten on the outside, over there. And I moved it over here with a forklift, dragged it into position, screwed that corner off. And that's so I ain't got to get under there and do all that nailing. Then once I'd done that, I worked out what pitch I could have and where I meet over in the far corner, which is the most important thing. Right, can I get the tin sheets over there in that far corner? Yes, I can. Now, right, so that dictates the height. Then I screwed my wall plate across, and then I made all my rafters. Now, not all these rafters are screwed in because, funnily enough, I'm out of screws. I'm out of everything over 4 inch. I'm out. So I've got a problem somewhere. And it could mean we've got to nail this lot. Anyway, I've got no screws, that's what I'm saying. Then I made up the support here, and now I've just finished putting the porch frame on. Okay, so this, very specific for a vehicle, very specific, and exactly the right size. And that's my trailer. Over there, you've seen my trailer, carries the lawnmower and all manner of muck around. What I've done is over the last 2 winters is I've squeezed it in places. I break the reflectors, I break the side markers, and if I leave it outside it fills with snow, then try and get the snow out and then turn. Anyway, this here is designed exactly for that trailer. Just to go straight in undercover, it'd be undercover. Now if I want to, at the end of the season, when I get ready to put the trailer away just for winter, I can put the mower on it and it will still go in under there. So this building will be very specifically for the trailer. I'm really sorry about the whole time lapse thing. Anyway, I think I've explained what I've done, how and where, and where I am with the porch. Obviously we're going to clad all this and then we're going to paint it. So you know, it's like all builds as you're building it. Don't look too pretty, then it all looks pretty. So tomorrow I want to get all the woodwork done, and we keep having these massive storms, which is an issue. So I want to get the finish off all the timber work, and then I want to get all the cladding done, and then I want to get it painted by the end of the day. Then we can put a tin roof on, and then we're done. Once we're finished in this corner, I've been working on this. I'm not sure which video this is in, whether you've even seen it before. Probably not. This is all done in there. I'm not sure whether you've seen the finished walling or not, to be honest. I'm going flat out. I went fishing last night, lightning came. Lightning's been coming sporadically all day, and it's forecast for the future, so we'll just keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Anyway. So that's a whole day with no footage condensed into 4 minutes. You can see this forming yet again. I'm going to get a coat on what I've done. So I've been scraping around now for every used screw. Do you know, fortunately, well, a lot of you will have seen the painting of the old school, the scaffolding. When I put the scaffolding up and took the scaffolding down, I had hundreds of screws that came out because I screwed it all. And I've been scratching around. Anyway, I finished the basic construction. Well, more than the basic construction. I finished the timber work. I've got the roof to put on, but before I put the roof on, I want to paint it. So here comes the only thing that I've had to buy. Paint. And in fairness, I didn't buy that. My Sarah bought that. Now I'm going to explain something to you, and it don't matter what currency you're in, right? I'll just say that again. Doesn't matter what currency you're in. Price of this 10 litres is 160. You can't buy water for that price. I don't know why it's 160, but it's 160. So the next nearest cheapest paint to this is 1,500, whatever it is. 160. If I want to buy a tub of this in anything else, right, times that price by 10. 10. So if you are local, right, go to the dollar store. This is cheap and nasty, right, but it is red and it goes on. It's 160 crowns per tub. So to give you an idea, right, the school that I'm painting, that's 1,700 crowns per tub for undercoat, and it's 1,700 crowns per tub for top coat. That's, I don't know what that is, $150, $200, £150, £200. Who knows where the currencies are? It's a lot of money per tub, So, this is cheaper than Coca-Cola. How do I know that? Well, go and buy 10 litres of Coca-Cola. That's cheaper, right? Does it have the same effect when you drop Mentos in it? I don't know. I'm not going to try that. Right, there we go. Told you I was going to fake the door, didn't I? See that? Right, learn from that. Will the red paint stick to the door? I hope so. I've given it a sand. I hope so. Yeah. Save you a lot of time and work, that will. Now some of you are going to say there's no fascia on the front there, Simon. No, there's no fascia on the front. There's no fascia on here. And that's because that is going to be a decorative fascia and it's going to be in white. Right, so that's the only thing I haven't done. We're obviously not doing anything over there. We don't want any overspray in there. So we're going to set to and paint this. And I'm hoping then we can get the roof on that. The roof for this here is still up here. Right, so we take that roof off, put it on there. I don't want the border plate on the front there. I'll put something else on there. Alright, let's mix up some paint then. I could show this, but I've shown it all before. I'm going to open these two tubs. I'm going to mix them up with this, and I'm going to put them in there. Horseflies. I'll tell you another story. Round there is the darkest, coldest, wettest, horriblest hole in the whole yard. Horseflies. Mad, mad, mad. Anyway, I worked out once they start chasing me, they don't let up. If I come in this door, I've shut this door now, but if I come in this door, right, flap my arms around, they go for the window. And of course they're horseflies, they're not very bright, right? Killing zone. Killing zone. So I'll leave them up there for a little while, sort themselves out. Then I'll chop their heads off. Well, what do you chop their heads off with, Simon? Chisel. Let them wear themselves out, chop their heads off. There's a lot less horseflies than there were. Do you know, I taped up the windows and everything. I was coming here for a cup of coffee, right, and I thought, that's funny, the windows are all steamed up. Anyway, so I'm going to mix some paint, get the paint sprayer up and ready, and then we're going to paint. That's the roof on. So, bears. Well, there's no bears in the village. They don't come this close. Right. Just in there is the backbone and the skull. Now, when I first looked at it, I thought, that's old. It's been hot. It's been really hot this last week. Now I can tell you that has been there since before this rain started. So it's been there more than 2 weeks. Prior to that, well, the remains of it is in there. We don't need to go and see that. There's no real need to see that. Well, that weren't Casper. That's what we can tell you. That weren't. And it looks older than it is. I've just turned it over. That's not that old, and that's not that old. Anyway, not quite sure what chopped that up in here. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, but it weren't the lawnmower, is what I'm saying. Right. Roof. Okay. Now we've got to put a tin roof on there, and we've got a couple of pieces to finish along the front of here. But I'm not using this. I've got some other stuff down there that was sent to me. Right, let's see what we got behind. See what we got behind here. No. No. Leave it. I'm not. I was gonna. I'll do it in the morning. No, leave it. It's dear. Maybe I'll do it now. That's quite funny, don't you think? Yeah, I think that's quite funny. Anyway, thanks for me. I have had fake many things in my life. Everything from huge stone buildings to interior doors. Yeah. Anyway, we'll put a roof on there in the morning. It's quite late. It gave me enough time this morning to get that roof on and cut some sheets. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 sheets missing, short ones just there. This is the plastic, and I was just about to do that, and the rain's persistent. So next job, electrics. What a pleasure it is to work in this building. Amazing. Right, what was I doing? I've already taken apart inside, ready to go in there. Is it an antiquated system? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Have I got to pay for it? No. Is it being used? Yes. There we go. Okay, for those of you who are horrified, work on a mile weld. So what we've got here is we've obviously got the 2 3-phase sockets, and these, whilst they got 32 amps in there, right, I'm only putting 16 amps in there. So they'll be on 16 amps. 3 phases, 1, 2, 3. 16 amps in all of those. And then here, whilst that's got a 32 amp in there, I'll only be putting a 10 amp in there. 10 amp fuse, 10 amp fuse, 10 amp fuse. Lights, sockets, outside floods. Now outside floods, it's quite interesting. I've got 3 on there because I've used a 3-phase cable. Right, so within that cable, you've got an earth, you've got a neutral, and you've got 3 lives. Now I haven't split those 3 lives over 3 phases because each one of these is going to go to a separate light, and they're all going to be switched through the neutral. Right, so I never switch through the live, I always switch through the neutral. In addition to that, you see up here, for those that know anything about electrics, you've got your earth bank at the back and your neutral at the front. Here, earth and neutral are the same. Right, this bar is crossed, so the neutral is the earth. Don't ask me. Anyway, and then of course you've got your 3-phase coming in. So 1 phase, 2 phase, 3 phase connected to there. And that's why on your 3-phase sockets you have your 3-phase spread. Your 3 phases spread across 3 phases of the main incoming cable. And then I've got my lighting socket on 1 phase, my plug sockets on a 2nd phase, and my outside floods on a 3rd phase. That's basically it. And what we can do is we can put this nice little cover back on here where I've written what's what. We'll put them in there. Right. That's that. Now we can build a box around that. And then what we've got left here, sockets, internal, external light switch, internal light switch. We haven't got the switches or the sockets. Anyway, that's that wide. Now I'll build a box around that and tidy that up. Right, we can get back on the roofing now. We've only got cut a couple of these up. much rather use something better than a jigsaw this size to cut these out. But this is what I've got. So I've put in a new, finest, narrowest blade I've got. And I've got my jig setting set to 1. So the jig setting is how much it vibrates backwards and forwards to create the cut which will tear the wood. This is ply. You don't want to do that. Now the dog's barking because he thinks I'm talking to somebody. Okay, I'm going to get you in close to watch this because nobody told me this. This is something you work out over years and years and years of making mistakes, snapping blades, cutting into areas you don't want to cut. And all of this you learn with age and patience. So I know there's not too many young subscribers, all right, which is a shame. But for those of you that don't know what you can actually do with a jigsaw and how you can use the face of the blade to shape, just like you can shape with a chainsaw, I'm going to give you for those that know, sorry it's boring, I'm going to give you a close-up view of how I'm going to cut a shape as near as I can with just a fine bit of sanding, just using the blade. Okay. Total record time, 1 hour, 59 seconds, start to finish. That's, and of course, for some of you, my new subscribers certainly, you won't have recognised what that is. That's actually a ply sheet from the outside of a crate I picked up for free from the airport, along with a lot of other stuff. There's a video about that. All this stuff for free from the airport in November with the ice and the snow. Anyway, there isn't a faster way I know of making something like that that is going to be fit for the purpose I want it for. That's it. It's as fake as the door. Now I've just seen a bit I've missed. And I'm going to have to give it another coat because even though I sealed it with the spray can, even though I sealed it first with a spray can, it's still going to soak up a lot of this because it's ply. And it ain't the best ply in the world. It's shuttering ply, knots and screw holes and everything. Why have you left that, Simon? It needs to look like it's always been there. It needs to look old. It looks like I've just slapped a fresh paint, a bit of paint on something that was built 50 years ago here in Sweden by a Swede. So I've replicated their style. The workmanship here in the north is rough. To say the least, it's rough. The finest workmanship here in the north is rough. But you have to look at what tools they had to do it and how they did it and what short period of time they had to build everything. So for many of you that have been around for a long time, you'll know there's only 16 to 20 weeks every year in which you can do most of your stuff. Strictly speaking, there's actually only 12 weeks you can do everything, providing it's not raining, because of the temperatures either side of that. So some of the architecture here in the small villages and in the major towns, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. It's not the kind of architecture I'm used to working for. I've been behind and with some of the finest architects in the world. But here, it's different. It's not architectural, it's free license. And there was a few really nice creative builders in the early villages, the houses that have since been moved with their creativeness. Anyway, I needed to look like it was built 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and it's just had a fresh coat of paint. And that will do it. That will do it nicely. Right. What are we doing now? Clearing out the old sawmill shed, ready to take it down. And I've been doing a bit of that this morning, whilst it was cool. Oh, my hat. Don't go out without your hat, Simon. I'm running out of space in here for our winter projects. So you can see this has now been here. This is all this big birch we cut up from the cemetery. This is all for the kitchen. It's all acclimatised. I bought some select stuff in that I want to plane up and edge and stack. I need to do that to get that out of the way. I'm hoping I can get to that this winter. I really am. So, but we had a bit of a change of things this last winter with my man Ralph dying. That kind of changed the dynamics in the village, really. There he is. Lying in the shade. It's amazing how many of you ask where he is when he's not around. He's around all the time, he just don't like the heat. Right. So we've removed the old sawmill base, and this is the mess we're left with. So that's a stack of pallets recovered from the base. And, you know, that's not good or healthy. So that's 3 years of sawdust cut in there. And we've got to move these barrels. I'm hoping they're going to go under there. And then we've got the dullage, the bearers, whatever you want to call them, and the sticks for stacking the packs. I've got my sled I need to put up, and then we've got the engine to move. And then I think we're ready for the tear down. I really do. Electrics are completed at the box. I've just got to run all the electrics that way. I've just been stacking up and tidying up, filling this end bay back up with the extra siding I've got and the metal. And yeah, I think we're all good. And you can see once this comes down here, how much land we're going to gain back in the yard. I don't even know why. It's a long story as to... I do know. Well, why didn't you build this at the back here, Simon? Because I piled all the snow up here. I built this in November, and I for everywhere there's a post, I had to set a fire. I've got a picture somewhere. If I find it, I'll stick it on. So this is what I was talking about here. This is where I'm lighting the fires and thawing the ground in order to put the posts in. And this here, I'd already bought this. Right. This is my first sawmill. This is a traditional Swedish sawmill. I think it's from the 1930s. And you can see me lighting the fires, and I've started to cut the posts. This is all deadfall that I pulled from the forest. And then there, I've dug the holes for the posts, and I'm supporting the posts. And that's it finished. And that's the first sawmill. That's the one that wanted to kill me every time I used it. And that's belt driven. You can see belts here. And this is what this engine was for. And that there, that's the old Scania snowplow that the engine came out of. And then this is the only sled I had for the snowmobile, and that was the snowmobile shed. I had to set a fire and thaw the ground to be able to dig the hole, which are all dug by hand, to put the posts in. Right. Yeah. And then what we can do here, the idea is to put the trailer in here and see if I've got enough room to put these barrels down the side here, and yeah, we're ready to go. We put that bit of fascia up, and then that should finish that off. I've got to do another coat of white on the window and the door frame, because that's not quite done, and I haven't done anything in here yet. Nothing. We're kind of ready to clean this up, get this back ready for operation. What I'm going to put on the back wall here and on the end wall there, not quite sure. Woolandmills, if you're watching, right, I'm missing a final section of track from a sawmill. See all that lovely advertising space up there? Sure, we could come to an agreement where you could have a bit of that. Just thinking, you know. Just thinking. Have I been responsible for a few sawmill sales? Yeah, I have. I've helped. You know, I've given an honest description of my Woolandmills, and as I've said before in many videos, value for money, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. I can only imagine Woolandmills have other products that are the same. You know, it just... Anyway, it does what it's supposed to do, and it does it quite well, and it does it at a really good price. Right. Now then, I think we'll take coffee and bring that fascia I've just painted under the canopy where it's really hot. What's the temperature today, Simon? It's hot. It's always hot. How's the fishing been? Oh, me and my Sarah went fishing last night. It was completely calm. Right, it's been really calm. It got a little bit overcast and it cooled a little, and I thought that's... Anyway, we go on the river, hey, the wind. You never seen nothing like it. The waves were white capping. Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, there you go, one of those things. Right, let's take coffee then, and then we'll finish off what we were doing in the sawmill building, see if we can get it ready for demolition. And that's me internal electrics finished. And I've decided to use these because I had them. Right, these are dust caps. They're waterproof, but also keeps the dust out. There's my outside light switch, there's my inside main light switch. There's my box. I really wanted to put something across here. I just knocked this up out the odd bits I had, obviously, because that's the idea of it. But if I put something on there, right, I can't do that. So that's just the way it is. I've left those like that. Anyway, I can live with that. And there's my three phases, one for my splitter, one for my saw. That's the electric's done in there. I've just obviously got to run. I haven't done first fix for the lights here yet. I've got to run 2 more first fix for the lights, the cable there. I've got to run the cable for the outside lighting. I don't have the lights anyway. And, you know, there's only one of me. There's only so much I can do. So much I can do. Right. Now we're going to get this lot tidied up. Get the saw ready for use. Did a couple of you wonder whether that's real? Oh yeah, that's as genuine as it gets. Have I had that put away for a rainy day? Yeah, along with a lot of other stuff. The signs, you know, I've got one of these here with the nuclear sign over the top of it from the Chernobyl days when you couldn't hunt moose. Anyway, just a collection of things I've had over the years. I've got a big collection of things I've had over the years. You can see the wiring just hanging down there. I've got to do the wiring, you know, I'm going to get there. But the point is, I'm done with construction and I'm ready to be able to operate the sawmill again. And we've still got to skin all these logs. And of course, I'm quite, let's say, lucky. No, I'd have rather been working. Anyway, I've taken this opportunity, because the work's all fallen through, to spend the last month, the month of June basically, to build that. Now I ain't got to build it twice. I ain't got to build it again. It's not like this temporary one here, the sun. It's not like this temporary one here. I knew I was chucking it up quick. This here, that's going to outsee me. Right, and I've got to worry about that again. The next job we got to do is go and pull the tractor in the yard, because one of the jobs that we haven't done, which we really need to do, is the brakes. And we must do the brakes. So let's go and get the tractor and pull that into the yard. And then we're ready to do the work on the brakes tomorrow. So that's it. It's about 1600 hours on Saturday. Again, apologies for not putting the video up midweek. Just, I ain't got time. I just had to finish. I've done that now. Right, now we can go back to normal. Is the grass that I should have cut probably way too long? Oh yeah. I have neglected a few things just to get this finished. Roof's finished, everything's finished. What am I into it for? Okay, costs. Absolute real costs, I think I'm under $200. That's including fuel for the bandsaw to cut up the wood. Yeah, I think real costs I'm under $200. What have I put into that that's new? We used some screws. We did use some screws in the beginning. Screws and paint. Everything else has been cheap or reclaim. Everything else has been cheap or reclaimed. Even the roofing screws that I put the roof on with, they all come off of another roof, or this roof over here we've just taken off the old sawmill shed. So yeah, all in, I'm pretty sure I'm under $200. I hope I managed to entertain you a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers, my old subscribers. Thank you to everybody that watched. It's sometimes I can get a bit despondent because I do this for no gain. It just takes up an awful lot of my time. And the comments, you know, they kind of, yeah, I'm really grateful. So you all have a nice weekend. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.